So when people come to me looking for more energy, more vitality in their body, minerals are one of the first places we look. Hey, my hormones are way out of whack. Hey, I've got terrible headaches. Hey, my skin is breaking out and so dry. And the answer to so many people's questions is you need more minerals. Hey, Mama, welcome back to the Thrive Mama podcast. I'm Martina, certified nutrition consultant and holistic health coach, and a mama of two, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm here to help busy moms unlock their energy, balance their hormones, and break out of burnout using nutrition as a foundation. On this podcast, we will dive into actionable strategies around nutrition, nervous system healing, and aligning with your cycles, all with a healthy dose of relatable motherhood thrown in, designed to help you move past surviving to actually thrive in motherhood. Let's do this. Before we jump in, I have one quick announcement, and this one is really for the spiritual girlies out here following along. I know some of you beautiful mamas are really here for the food, and that's totally cool. But I also do a lot of work around ritual and ceremony and spirituality and really reclaiming that in our bodies and for ourselves. And a couple of times a year, I partner with a beautiful soul and dear friend of mine, Kayla, and we co-host a month-long ritual immersion all about syncing up with your cycles and really honoring your menstrual cycle, the moon cycles, and bringing that magic into your life. So if you are craving more spiritual connection, spiritual sisterhood, and community, this is a really in-depth month-long program that would be really beautiful for you. You do not have to be having a menstrual cycle to be a good fit. Anyone on any stage of their journey is welcome to come in and join us. So I'm going to leave some links below this video to check out that program. We only run it a couple times a year, and we are starting at the end of March. And if you're intrigued by this topic but not sure about jumping all the way into Lunar Living, we also have a free mini podcast series called Cycle Codes that I'll also link for you below that really dives into some of these foundational principles and offers you really a little mini masterclass in podcast form on cycle syncing, what it is, and the spiritual side of connecting to our menstrual cycle. So, spiritual girlies, I will see you in there. But for today's episode, I'm really excited to get into this topic because it's one that I find myself talking about a lot and getting a lot of questions about. It's actually the answer to a lot of your questions, even if you don't know that it's the answer. People aren't usually coming to me being like, hey, tell me all about minerals. But they are coming to me and saying, hey, my hormones are way out of whack. Hey, I've got terrible headaches. Hey, my skin is breaking out and so dry. And the answer to so many people's questions is you need more minerals. So we're going to get all the way into it today. We're going to talk through what minerals are, what they do in the body, why we're probably all deficient in them, and what to do about it, how to get more into our cells and into our tissues. So let's start with what minerals are. We hear a lot about vitamins and minerals, and they are slightly different. Vitamins are actually produced in the body. So these are little nutrients that our cells and tissues use, but we can make vitamins ourselves. Minerals are actually compounds that come from the earth. So we get minerals from plants and animals that eat things from the earth. So our bodies only get minerals from plants and animals that have sourced them directly from the earth. So from plants and things that grow from the earth that contain those minerals, and from animals that eat those plants that then contain those minerals. So our bodies can't make them on their own, which means it's really critical that we're paying attention to our mineral intake in general. Now, we hear a lot about a specific kind of mineral called electrolytes. And electrolytes are a subcategory of minerals that are especially important because they carry an electrical charge, hence the name, electrolytes. They have an electrical charge. I think of them as really like the spark plug of our cells. And they are really the power source in the cellular energy production. They also are really critical in hydration. So electrolytes move water, like H2O molecules, into our cells and into our tissues. So without minerals, without electrolytes, we can drink tons of water during the day, but it doesn't actually get absorbed into our cells. We just kind of pee it right out. And you may have felt that before, like I'm drinking a ton, but I'm still really thirsty, or I still feel kind of like dried out and tired. That's a mineral thing. So electrolytes, not only important for hydration, but also cellular charge, cellular vitality. This is where our cellular energy comes from. So when people come to me looking for more energy, more vitality in their body, minerals are one of the first places we look. Cycle imbalances, skin issues, stress and anxiety, low energy, all of the things really are supported by minerals. Some examples of minerals that I'm sure you've heard of before are things like magnesium, sodium, potassium, zinc, iron, phosphorus, calcium. These are all minerals that our bodies need. And without enough minerals, our cells can't turn on. Like they don't have the on switch to really produce the energy that we crave and that we need. There are also a lot of minerals that impact our blood sugar regulation and really are involved deeply in our hormonal balance. So if you are looking for more balance and energy and vitality in your life, minerals are the place to start, especially because most of us don't have enough minerals in our bodies. Like mineral deficiencies or just being lower than optimal, even if it's not a true deficiency, they're so common, y'all. It's so, so common. And there are some signs and symptoms that we'll talk through about how to know if you're low in minerals, but I would default to yes, you need more minerals, especially if you are somewhere on your motherhood journey. If you are pregnant, were pregnant at some point in the last 5 or 10 years, have ever breastfed, all of those things are going to be doubly important to replenish our mineral stores. So why is it that we're all so low in minerals? What is depleting our minerals so quickly? Well, as I said, our minerals really come from the earth. And it is well known and well studied that our soil quality today is significantly lower than the soil quality of even 50 or 100 years ago. And if our food is getting minerals from the soil and then we eat the food, there's less minerals in the soil, there's less minerals in the food. So even if you are eating a beautifully balanced, nutritious diet, your fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds have less minerals than they did 100 years ago. I saw one study that showed that the mineral content of fruits and veggies were depleted 40% compared to 1950. Almost half as much minerals in our fruits and veggies today as there were, 70 years ago. So that took me a moment because as a 90s baby, everything is still subtracted from 2000. Do you know what I mean? I hear 1950 and I immediately think, oh, that was 50 years ago. And I hear 1900 and I'm like, oh, that was 100 years ago. No, Martina, it is 2025. Okay, back to minerals. So even 75 years ago, I can do math, less minerals in our fruits and veggies. A few other ways, though, that we are losing the minerals we do have in our body. One really common source I see is hormonal birth control. And maybe we'll do a whole episode sometime on birth control options and how to support ourselves through different birth control options. Because, man, it is complicated and messy out there, and there's so many factors to consider. But hormonal birth control pills are known to deplete our minerals, especially things like magnesium and zinc and iron. So if you are on hormonal birth control for any period of time, you should assume that you are low in minerals. And that doesn't mean that we're not allowed to take hormonal birth control, but it does mean that knowing that we can be really proactive about, oh, I know I need extra minerals in my body. What can I do to support that? I mentioned that the motherhood journey is also really demanding on our mineral stores. So during pregnancy, breastfeeding, and postpartum, we actually need more minerals than we normally do. And the tricky thing here is that if we get depleted during our pregnancy or during our breastfeeding journey, and then we never rebalance or get intentional about replenishing, we could stay deficient for years, for decades. Those imbalances really do linger. So even if you have not been pregnant for a long time, if you have never really gotten intentional about rebalancing your hormones and your minerals after a pregnancy, it's possible that your body is still feeling the impacts of that depletion and the high demands on your minerals in that time. But the last one is a biggie. It's the one that I think applies to almost everyone, which is the stress cycle in our body depletes our minerals faster than almost anything else. So anytime our nervous system is activated and we have adrenaline and cortisol responding to a situation, that is, as a byproduct, depleting our minerals. And a lot of us, I know, because you're telling me this is true, are in fight or flight like a lot of the day, a lot of the time. And so if we are in this chronic state of activation and like low levels of chronic stress all the time, we are constantly depleting our minerals faster than our food can replenish them. Now, I get a lot of questions about like, well, we just ran labs and my doctor told me it was fine, or, can I just go test my minerals and see if I'm low? And the answer is yes, you for sure can test your minerals, but blood tests really won't do it. A blood test of mineral content in the body is really just showing like a tiny temporary snapshot of what is circulating in your body. It does not give us a representation of what is stored in the body, and that's really important too. So we really can't make decisions based on a blood test. It doesn't tell us enough. I find it really not helpful when it comes to minerals specifically. But what you can do is request a test from your doctor called a hair tissue analysis. Sometimes this is called HTA, hair tissue analysis. And not all providers have access to this test or even know how to interpret them. This is not a super routine test, but it is the only one that will accurately tell you if you are deficient or depleted in certain minerals. So you may need to work with someone a little bit more holistically minded or someone who specializes in more holistic health to get access to a hair tissue analysis. But it is really worth it if you're someone that needs the data. If you're like, I need a snapshot of where I am now, I need to measure before and after, I need clarity, get yourself a hair tissue analysis, like go after it. But if you don't necessarily need the data, I do want you to operate under the assumption that you need more minerals than you're getting today, okay? Even if you're not diagnosed deficient, you need more minerals than you're getting today. Unless you feel 100% perfect in your body all the time, you need more minerals than you do today. And I really, we'll talk about how to support mineral intake. We don't want to just supplement a specific mineral unless we have context for that mineral. So we don't just want to like get a zinc supplement and start supplementing it all the time. We don't want to get like an iron supplement or a calcium supplement and start supplementing all the time. Minerals are a team. They really work in balance. And so all it takes is an imbalance in the ratio of one or two minerals, and it can continue to cause problems. So we don't want to really front end one specific mineral unless we have a specific reason to do that and you're working with a practitioner. I would say the exception is probably magnesium. Like almost everyone needs more magnesium, and you can safely take magnesium in a supplement without getting other things out of whack. But other than that, don't go after mineral supplements here. I'll talk through how we're increasing minerals, but just know balance is really important. So we want to source our minerals in a balanced way, not just concentrated forms of one at a time. So if you are not going after a hair tissue analysis test, here are some self-reflection signs that you definitely need to support with minerals. I'm just going to list off a bunch, maybe keep a little tally in your head of how many of these apply to you right now. So some red flags on intake forms or conversations that indicate more minerals for me are someone feeling exhausted all the time, like just always drained, you're sleeping but waking up tired, that sort of thing. Period problems, period cramps that require medication to get through or that really interfere with your day, or if you have really serious like mood swings around your period. Small shifts in energy is super normal, but I'm saying like you feel like you're snapping at everyone, you feel like a totally different person, you feel like you're ready to divorce your husband every single luteal phase, like those would be more moderate to severe mood swings around your period. Or if they're just super irregular, super heavy, super light, like anything wonky going on with your period, probably need more minerals. Digestive things are also a biggie. Constipation, bloating after meals, heartburn, loose stools, all could benefit from more minerals. And then skin issues are a really common one that I see. So the two biggest I would say are really dry skin and then breakouts and acne. But even things like eczema, rashes, or that skin condition, keratosis pilaris, where you have the like little red dots on the back of your arm, all could use more minerals. If you have a history of blood sugar issues, blood sugar imbalances, definitely boost the minerals. Anxiety, depression, racing thoughts, headaches, migraines, those are really, really big. Low immune system, like you tend to just catch everything that shows up in anyone else. And then like muscle cramps are a pretty common one people look for. I don't always see things progress to that point, but if you do tend to get easy muscle cramps or soreness or tightness, definitely could use more minerals. And then nail health is another one you can look at. So if you tend to have peeling nails, they're really brittle and break easily, you can't get them to grow, definitely a sign that you need minerals. Now, every body is different. And so if you're like a yes for some of these things and a heck no for others, that doesn't mean they cancel each other out, right? These low and imbalanced minerals can manifest in different ways, but for almost everyone listening, you are going to benefit from increased mineral intake in your diet. And we're going to get into that next. Hey there, mama. Quick question. Are you feeling drained, overwhelmed, or just ready for more actionable strategies for nourishing yourself in motherhood? Well, I've got a special gift for you. I am opening the waitlist for my Thrive Mama group coaching program. And when you join the priority waitlist, I am gifting you 5 free lessons straight from inside the program itself, delivered right to your inbox. So these 5 lessons are packed with simple, actionable strategies to help you transform the way that you think about energy and stress and focus on the highest impact areas to start unlocking more energy, balancing your blood sugar, balancing your hormones, and healing your nervous system. And there are free lessons in here on exactly how energy and stress are connected, how food plays a role into all of this, how to know if you're actually eating enough food, which, hint, hint, you're probably not, and how to snack in a way that actually supports your energy instead of draining you more. And the best part is you will also get early access to Thrive Mama when the doors open, and there'll be a special waitlist discount for you. Plus, you get a sneak peek into the transformation and the resources that would be waiting for you inside of Thrive Mama. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link below the show notes, join the priority waitlist, and start your thriving era today. So, because we don't want super concentrated mineral supplements happening out of balance with other supplements, I really prefer to source our minerals first from our food. So we're eating more fruits, vegetables, and nuts are really my 3 favorite sources of minerals. So fruits and veggies, like literally every time you eat, 1 to 2 servings, really getting tons of colorful fruits and vegetables in. Organic fruits and vegetables will have higher mineral content because of the way the soil is treated, but any fruits and vegetables are going to be supportive. So get whatever's in your budget, whatever you have access to. And then nuts are also an amazing source of minerals. Something like pumpkin seeds, cashews, Brazil nuts are some of my top favorites nutritionally. Walnuts, I'll throw in there too. But really any nut or seed that you enjoy snacking on or adding to meals, do it daily. More nuts and seeds. Some other foods you can look for minerals would be legumes. So things like beans, chickpeas, lentils would all be really great sources of minerals. And then if dairy works for you in your system, if you know that you tolerate dairy well, so adding something like full fat yogurt or other organic high quality dairy could be a good option for you to get more dairy as well. And then another food that gets an honorable mention in this list is dark chocolate, very high in minerals and really supportive for mineral content and hormonal health. So this is your permission slip to eat that dark chocolate, call it medicine. When I say dark chocolate though, I do mean like 80 plus percent, 80, 85, 90% dark chocolate. Okay. We're not doing the like little Dove dark chocolate, delicious, cute, not dark chocolate. Okay. So sourcing from food first, getting more fruits and veggies, more nuts and seeds, high quality dairy, legumes, dark chocolate, getting them in daily, on the daily. That will really help. And like we talked about, it can be challenging with our food quality and the soil density of minerals to actually get what we need just from food. So, especially for those in their motherhood journey, I really recommend some kind of mineral beverage 1 to 2 times a day. You might have seen these called mineral mocktails, adrenal cocktails. This is kind of the same thing. I often call them my mineral elixirs because it sounds fancy and it's more fun than a mocktail. So, whatever you're calling it, it's just a drink with concentrated minerals. And there's a few different ways you can go about this. You can totally get like a supplement form, right? Now, we're not talking, now there is a range in quality of these mineral and electrolyte supplements out there. I'm not the biggest fan of like Body Armor or Liquid IVs. A lot of the grocery store electrolyte options are going to have more added sugar, more added flavors, and less minerals. Actually, if you look at the bottle, you're getting a lot less concentration. So it's not just like, oh no, sugar is evil. Like that's not what this is. It's actually like, how can we get you the actual concentration that you need in these minerals? It's just so much less bang for your buck, and it's not going to actually help that much because it's more diluted. It's not as concentrated as some of these other forms that I like to use. So I'll leave a couple of links in the show notes of my favorite mineral brands. If you want just like a quick, easy powder, add to water, call it a day. I do also enjoy mixing up these mineral elixirs myself, and there's lots of homemade ways you can do this. So one way that I do this is every morning, making a mason jar full of warm lemon water, about a quarter teaspoon of high quality sea salt, and a cube of ginger, and 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Okay, cream of tartar is like a white powder spice, has very neutral flavor, and has a lot of minerals, has potassium and phosphorus and all kinds of great stuff. So mixing up my lemon water with a cube of frozen ginger, sea salt, and cream of tartar. The lemon juice itself is also supporting the mineral content, and all of it together gives me a really beautiful morning elixir. Another way you can do this is by using coconut water as a base and mixing in various mineral-rich ingredients to make your own version of these mineral mocktails that are out and around on the internet. I also love using green juices as a mineral drink. So my favorite is just celery, cucumber, ginger combination. That's a really nice, hydrating mineral drink. Once you start adding a bunch of like fruits to your juice, it does start to turn into more of a glucose heavy energizing drink, which also has its place. I'm a big fan of fresh juices and their healing properties in the body, but we're talking specifically about minerals. I would prioritize more of the green juices. So for me, that looks like a daily celery, cucumber, ginger juice. And that's something I recommend you make at home. These juices really need to be drunk within like 24 to 48 hours of juicing. So the stuff on the store shelves really is kind of dead. Like it doesn't have much life, minerals, enzymes, left in it. So mixing up a mineral elixir, getting yourself some kind of mineral electrolyte supplement, daily green juice that you're making at home, some kind of mineral elixir, mineral rich drink that you are drinking 1 to 2 times a day is really going to boost your overall vitality in all of these areas that we've talked about. And if you're wanting somewhere to start with all of that, I do have a very comprehensive mineral guide that I put together for my clients that I share around my email list, and I'm linking it here for you below. And it goes through some of the highest mineral foods that you can focus on, as well as some of my favorite recipes for these homemade mineral drinks that you can start experimenting with. This can be a really refreshing way to move into your afternoon. Like often we get this energy slump after lunch. So experiment with, instead of another coffee, which is also depleting more of our minerals, you can have this afternoon electrolyte mineral rich drink instead. And as I said, I also love starting my morning this way and rehydrating after being asleep all night. So we're going to keep it short and sweet today. I feel like we just sprinted through a deep dive on minerals and went through a lot of great stuff. So feel free, if you didn't take any notes, to go back and re-listen, capture down a few places that you're going to start. But to recap, if you're wondering if you need more minerals, the answer is probably yes. And the key places you're going to start are more fruits and vegetables, nuts, legumes, drinking your minerals 1 to 2 times a day, and grabbing my mineral guide below this episode so you can start boosting those foods, those recipes, and really getting your energy back into your cells, getting your cells turned on with the spark plug that they need to really thrive. So we're going to wrap it there, Mama. I cannot wait to see some of you inside of Lunar Living later this month, or just check out the Cycle Codes podcast and come along for that ride and see what resonates for you over there. All of the links will be below this episode, and don't forget to like this episode, comment your big takeaways or questions below, and make sure you are subscribed so that you can stay in the loop and not miss any future episodes. It's been such a joy to connect with you here. Until we meet again, take beautiful care of yourself.